78 Sports TV here. Salute to the mighty LDBC. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe, turn on your notification bell so you'll be notified when I drop a new video. I'm here with a very special guest. This is an exclusive interview with a very good brother, Professor Majid Al-Kush. How you doing today, brother?
I'm good. How are you, Brother Ush?
Doing wonderful, good brother. First, let's start off, man. Introduce yourself to the people. Let the people know who you are.
All right, my name is Majid Al-Kush, and I am a martial artist. I have been doing martial arts for 30 years now. My expertise is in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, and American boxing. Um, I've competed on all levels, from national, local, to international level. I still compete. I'm 52 years old and I still compete. I'm classified as a Master 5 in the IBJJF organization. And I have a local school here in Atlanta called Team Mongoose BJJ. We're located right in Lawrenceville, Georgia. It's about maybe 25, 30 minutes from the city of Atlanta.
Wonderful, wonderful. Why did you choose the grappling arts? I noticed that you are a practitioner and a master of. And you said different. You said judo, Japanese jiu-jitsu, and Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Why did you choose the grappling arts versus karate, taekwondo, or anything like that?
So I'm gonna tell you. So I was, all kids, when you're little, you see the kicking and punching and stuff. So I gravitated towards karate first, as all kids do.
Right.
And I remember going to a local karate school, and the instructor back then, this was, old school, so the instructor would let the kid just come in and just, participate in the first class for free, just to see what you had. And I didn't know anything. I just basically was a street fighter. And he invited me in. He said, "Yes, I said, can I spar with your students?" He's like, "Absolutely." So I sparred with one of his top students, and I whipped him pretty good, you know. And the instructor was like, "Hey, you got some natural skills and stuff." And I was excited about it. I was like, "Okay, let's get started." He said, "Okay, but I want you to know this. Okay, you have to learn kata. Okay, in order to progress in karate, you have to have a certain amount of kata before you get promoted." And I was like, "Well, I just beat one of your top students, and I don't know any kata. So, you know, why do I have to learn that?" And he
Right.
was like, "Well, it's mandatory." So I was like, "Well, I'm ready for some action. I don't want to spend my time, learning forms and katas and stuff." So I kind of, walked away from the karate. And when you're young, you don't have an appreciation for that stuff. You don't understand the significance that it bears on you and how it structures you and it helps to develop your skills in the art. Okay, so that's why I said, okay, let me look at some other things where I can get right into the action, and that's why I didn't really go towards karate or taekwondo. Um,
Yes,
but my
sir.
first sport that I involved myself in, as far as combat sport, was American boxing. Yeah.
Right. Right. Okay. Okay. And American boxing, yeah, that's what I mainly cover. I'm glad you said you like boxing, man. Boxing. Hey, I wish I had known that before. I had some good boxing questions for you. We could talk about it though later.
Okay.
But uh, I also want to ask you about. I saw in another interview that you did. You talked about uh, Dr. Moses Powell's system. That you received a black belt under him. Could you talk more about the Dr. Moses Powell influence? Because that was he's like the first
Right.
superhero for me,
Yeah.
besides my
Yeah.
father, of course. Dr. Moses Powell was like a superhero, black superhero, man, like amazing figure. But what was the influence on you?
Man, it was, man. I mean, listen. Uh, at my age, I don't have many heroes.
Right.
Most of my heroes are passed away. You know, and but Moses, man, Moses was he
And
was
there you go,
phenomenal.
100%.
And I didn't study directly under him. I studied under his top student. So So one of his top students that I started with was Abdul Mutakabir, and he's the founder of Squam. Um, and the other top student I studied under, which was under the Moses Power system, was Abdul Al Jabba, and that's who actually gave me my black belt under the Sanusi system.
Yes.
And but just the influence of Moses and what I saw that so these gentlemen had they had me studying the videos, they had me doing all of the forms and the combat styles that Dr. Moses Power taught to them. They passed it on to me, and to see his contribution to the community and the youth, it just bared a big impact on me, and I want to do the same through my art as well, through my development as well. It's all about community. He had a big heart. That's why his students had a big heart. You know, the students take after the master. So if you're a bad master, of course you're gonna have bad students. You
Right.
know, if you give a good example as a master and an instructor, your students are gonna be out there. You know,
Indeed.
and Dr. Powell was that. He was an outstanding individual. He was a master of the art of jujitsu.
Unbelievable. I when I first saw Dr. Moses Powell, I was a kid. I always loved boxing. I grew up watching boxing with my father, and every kid want to be like his dad. I sit down and watch Sugar Ray Leonard and Hearns and them fighting stuff, and I'd be sitting there watching with his friends and my uncles, and I always had a thing for martial arts, any type of combat. And my dad had this. He used to own a video store, right?
Mm,
So he had VHS tapes and stuff. We had access to all these VHS tapes, and I was watching a movie called The Warrior Within, a documentary.
yeah.
And Dr. Moses Powell was on there, and I said, this big dude. I said, man, hey, that's me. I can do that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that's a black dude too. I can do that. And just he was so confident and smooth. And I just said, man, this is it. And I started studying small circle jujitsu, if you heard of it. Started studying that, and then um, I also studied Kempo Goju karate under Sabir Muhammad, and
Okay.
but yeah, Dr. Moses Powell he was who I wanted to be like when it comes to martial arts combat. He just I don't know, he just looked like a superhero to me. You know what I mean?
The
So
the
yeah,
thing that the thing that I took the most from, I mean, I learned so much training and studying under those brothers. But the thing that stayed with me the most directly from Dr. Moses Power is he emphasized simplicity.
yeah,
Okay. And a lot of times, we try to complicate things when it's really not complicated at all. You
right,
know, the goal is to eliminate the threat, and the most
right,
accurate and pinpoint way, the fastest way to do that, all right, is to be precise and as simple as possible. It's not complicated, you know.
right,
So I kind of I shape my martial arts and the way I teach around that philosophy of Dr. Moses Power. Keep it simple. It's the art of simplicity. When we start to, add things and make things more complicated, right? You only run into failure, okay? Because you fog in the mind, you fog in the vision when it should be clear and precise and direct.
indeed. Another question I have for you is, um, I always ask people these type of questions, but Nick, can you name your top five favorite martial arts movies of all time and why?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I have to go with my number one is going to be Bloodsport. Uh,
Oh yeah,
yeah, I love the blood, but the thing that I love about Bloodsport is that it it showed the training. I was always into the training more
right,
so than the actual leading, the event itself. You know,
right,
and I think right now we live in a generation where everybody wants to just see the highlight reels of the finale, but
right,
nobody wants to see the work that was put in to get there. So in the movie Bloodsport, it shows the introduction of the Van Damme when he was a kid and how he entered into the art. and the training that it took for him to prepare to compete in the uh, the tournament. All right.
Right.
So Bloodsport was is definitely my number one right there. Bloodsport.
Yes, sir.
Uh, if I had to go back to the old kung fu days and stuff, I would have to say, the Drunken Master, with Jackie
Yes,
Chan.
sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah. So I love that style of fighting because he was so elusive, you
Right.
know. And right when his opponent thought that they was gonna strike him or kick him or punch him and stuff, he would just move out the way, just the slightest movement, and make them miss and make them pay for that mistake. So yeah, the Drunken Master would have to be my number two. Okay.
Yes, indeed.
Uh, Number three is actually a fairly newer movie. You ever heard of the Red Belt?
Oh, Red Belt was a good movie. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That was actually a good movie. I seen it once, and I seen it on cable once, and I never got a chance to rewatch it. But I definitely want. It was with the same brother from 12 Years a Slave.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
I love that movie because man, it showed the other side of the art. It showed the psychological side, right? It showed how the struggles that a an instructor deals with. When he's running his own academy, man, we some of those characters in that movie, man, those are characters that we run into every day.
Right.
A lot of unsincere people that has underlying motives and stuff,
Right.
and they're trying to use you. And it's not a lot of money in what we do. We do it out of love. I do it out of love. Okay, I
Right.
truly love the art, and I love to see other people benefit from it, especially children. Okay, I love dealing with children more so than adults because I understand that children are the future, right? And
Yes, indeed.
if you want a better future for yourself and others, you have to invest in the children. Okay. So yes, I Red Belt is definitely it's on my list. All right, Red Belt is high up on my list.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we got two more to go, right?
Yes, sir. We're on number 4 now.
Right. So have you heard of the movie Umbach?
I seen it up there. I
So
never watched it, brother. Never
oh,
watched
you
it.
got to watch Umbach. So Umbach stars the action actor Tony Jaa. Tony Jaa.
Right.
And Tony Jaa is from Thailand. And I believe now, I think he's retired from acting, and he's like into politics, I believe now, if I'm not mistaken, in Thailand. But he's a phenomenal person, man, phenomenal actor, phenomenal martial artist. And I believe Bak was one of the first movies that premiered here in the States. And it goes back to the tradition of Muay Thai and how he's in
Right.
a small village and he's learning from a old master, and
Hmm.
the old master is emphasizing on not just using this art uh, for selfish reasons, for personal gain. Okay, and that was drilled into him, like
Right.
this is not allowed. You should not use this for personal gain. You know, but
Right. Right.
something happened in the village to where he had to actually use his Muay Thai. So I won't
Okay.
spoil the rest for because you haven't
Yeah.
seen the
Yeah. I was
movie.
just gonna say, don't spoil. I'm gonna watch this. This sounds good. It kind of put me in the mind of kickboxer a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, but listen, Umbach is I'm telling you, it's an
It's
awesome
true.
movie. You will love it
I'm gonna
if
watch
you
that.
like the kickboxing movies and stuff. You will love Umbach. You will love Umbach.
Yes, indeed. I'm definitely gonna check that out. I seen it up there too. I just never watched it out because the newer martial arts movies I stayed away from because I always thought that they was gonna be weak or something. I'm kind of
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm biased to my generation of movies, but
Uh-huh.
but yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it out. You vouching for it? I'm gonna check it out.
Right.
What's
And
your
so
fifth?
I will have to finish off my list. Number five would be Ip Man. Ip Man. You heard of
Hmm.
Ip Man?
No, I never seen that.
So Ip Man he was the teacher of Bruce Lee.
Oh,
Yeah, Ip Man. Yeah,
what?
and
People. You know what? I have heard of it. Our crazy asses would call it IP man. Man, we was calling the IP man the whole time. Man, I said, Ip Man. I said, Bruce Lee teacher. Man, everybody was calling the IP man. I was thinking like, why would Chinese people call themselves IP man?
Right.
Man, in the hood, man, everybody be calling the IP man.
Yeah, well, you know, we got our own way of looking at stuff.
Right.
Did you know, like the shoe Adidas? That
Yeah.
we've been saying Adidas, but that's not the correct
Yeah,
pronunciation of it.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I mean, we put our own little spin on things. That's what makes us so exceptional.
Mhm.
But
Man,
yeah, those are my top 5 right there.
okay. You just broke the internet with this one because I'm gonna tell you something. Everybody I know call it IP man. And when you said Ip man, and I didn't know what you were talking about until you said Bruce Lee teacher. So IP man? Oh, okay. You know, like Gyro, Gyro, Euro, you know.
Right. So instead of saying Euro, we say Gyro.
Right. Because when I was in Germany, when I was living in Europe, they used to call it euros,
Right.
euros, you know. And then when I got to America, everybody was saying gyro. I'm like, what's a gyro? You ain't never had a gyro? You over there? I'm like, oh, euros. Man, that's not what it's called. And before you know it, they got me saying gyro.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. But good. Them are always good movies, great movies, man. I'm gonna give you my top 5 real quick.
Okay.
5 Deadly Venoms.
Oh yeah.
In no particular order. 5 Deadly Venoms. 5 Fingers of Death. Bloodsport, indeed. This gonna trip you out. Um, The Last Dragon.
Okay.
I love that movie. Soundtrack, everything just crazy about The Last Dragon. And then I want to say King of the Kickboxers. I don't know if a lot of people know that movie.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that. King
I
of the
know King of the Kick. It was one of those low budget movies that came out. Billy Blake's was in it in the early '90s,
Okay.
but I think it had a different name too. When I think it's on YouTube. I'll text it to you.
Okay.
But it's not gonna have the same effect now watching it. But back then when I was a kid watching it, man, King of the Kickboxers was the truth. It was about a guy who brother. It was kind of like a mimic of the Van Damme kickboxer, right? Like a bootleg version, where
Okay.
the guy his brother goes over to Thailand. He's an American champion. He goes over to Thailand to fight Thailand kickboxing, and ends up getting killed by a dude named Khan, who is Billy Blake's. And so this boy goes back to America, grows up, becomes a FBI agent or something like that, and he's a martial artist and stuff. And he gets an assignment to go over to Thailand to investigate these murders that's happening on movie sets. Why the FBI would be doing that don't make no sense, but fine. You know, it's a movie.
Yeah.
So he goes over there, and then he's reluctant because his brother got killed over there. And once he sees the guy in one of the videos who killed somebody in the video was Khan, who killed his brother, he wanted to get at him. But as good as he was in martial arts, he knew, well, he was told when he got to Thailand, he found out quickly that he wasn't ready to fight this dude, Khan. You know, like your American karate is not going to take you far over here.
No.
So he ended up having to, he got beat up by this guy who told him, he said, you see what can happen? I'm not even considered a good fighter. he said, you come over here, you get hurt permanently. And he said, well, I need somebody to train me. So they referred him to this guy who actually had Khan beaten one time back in the day, but Khan cheated to beat him. And so a dude named Prong or something like that. So he went to train with Prong, and I'll let you see the rest for yourself.
Okay. That sounds like a good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an excellent movie. But yeah, that's one of my favorites. I used to watch that. Me and my brother used to watch that over and over again. And honorable mention, real quick: No Retreat, No Surrender, the first one.
Oh yeah. That's
Honorable mention for that.
yeah. Now
Now
I
let me.
noticed that neither one of us said Karate Kid. Now why is that?
Oh man, you know what? Karate Kid was an amazing story.
Yes.
It's an amazing story, but I have no sympathy for Daniel LaRusso because that boy got himself into a lot of stuff, man. By his
Right,
own.
right.
Karate Kid. It was a good classic movie. I liked it for sure. It
Yeah,
just, it wasn't as far as martial arts go. Nah,
right,
it's a 100,000 movies better than that.
right. And that's why it would never make my list as well, because it's like, it did not focus on um, the real aspect of being a martial artist. Okay,
Yeah,
even though they tried to put some of the principles in there, with the wax on, wax off, and so forth. The way that he went about it was all wrong. He came into it with an arrogant attitude, you know.
it sure
And
did.
back in the day, if you come into the dojo like that, you get put on your back quick.
Yeah, somebody gonna teach you a lesson immediately.
They're gonna teach you a lesson, a hard lesson. And most times when folks get taught a hard lesson, they don't return. You know,
Mm,
it takes a special type of individual to take a good beating and to humble themselves and say, you know what, I came at this all wrong. I
right,
apologize. Now I'm ready to learn. You know, yeah,
right. Absolutely.
interesting.
Well said. Another question we got here for you is, what made you create Team Mongoose, BJJ?
So, it's funny you ask this because I just had this conversation with one of my students a couple of days ago. It's one of my newer students, and they asked the same question. I told them, I said, man, listen, I was actually forced into opening up Team Mongoose BJJ. Like I always knew I wanted to teach, but I was more so geared for like teaching, for someone else, underneath someone else.
Right,
But what kept happening is, I would go after I got my black belt, or even before. I think I was teaching when I was a brown belt. I was teaching at other academies and stuff. I was teaching at karate schools and taekwondo schools, and even some jujitsu schools. And the same thing kept repeating itself, which is I would start a jujitsu program, and I'm at a taekwondo or karate school, and they have their program, and more people will gain interest in the little program that I had established, and I'm only doing it for like an hour, where they have the whole 5 or 6 hours that they're teaching taekwondo or karate, and they would notice that my membership in my little 1 hour jujitsu class was starting to grow to outgrow their karate and their taekwondo
wow,
membership. And before you know it, I was told to leave, or they came up with some, convenient excuse to where, they no longer needed the jujitsu or wanted the jujitsu program in their facility. And then, they would kind of usher me out, and then I find they would try to reestablish it themselves, you know. So that kept happening, even with jujitsu schools. I would go and I taught at many big jujitsu schools, and they didn't appreciate, my value. They just saw me as just a regular instructor, And then when they saw that, hey, listen, man, this guy is good. People are just coming and they joining just to be taught by him. Um, they say, okay, let's duplicate him. Let's watch him. Let's study him. And then we can go ahead and get rid of them and then re-implement the program. But it
right,
failed every time because listen, there's nothing like the original. Okay,
right.
uh, imitation is flattery, yes, but it's nothing like the original.
Yes, sir.
So in a nutshell, my wife said to me, she said, "Listen, the same thing is going to keep happening to you over and over again. Okay, you need to open up your own academy because these people don't appreciate you. They don't appreciate your love and your compassion and your desire to teach other folks and the way that you teach. Okay, so they just see you as something to where, okay, he's good. Let's figure out what he's doing, and then we can get rid of him and we can do it ourselves. All right.
Oh yeah, ain't that the story of most black folks?
Yeah. So yeah, I was forced into opening up Team Mongoose BJJ, but I should have did it long time ago. And in the end, that conversation I had with my student told me, he said, it was a blessing in disguise, Professor. He said,
Mm-hmm.
because if you'd have stayed up underneath those other academies and teaching and stuff, he said that you wouldn't have this beautiful academy that you do, and there wouldn't be such wonderful people that's in here. So he said it was a blessing in disguise, and I concur that it was. It was.
And definitely, 'cause that's the first thing that went across my mind when you was talking. I said, man, that was a blessing though, because to be honest with you, I know you said that you should have left earlier. In hindsight, you think that, but I think that everything that happened for a reason. I think that you got more knowledge and understanding of what how the game is played. Now that you have this, I think personally, I think the best is yet to come. I think the best is yet to come. I think you're gonna have champions coming out of that gym. A lot of stuff is gonna happen. And I'm gonna look back at this interview and I'm gonna be lying to folks. Yeah, that's my boy. That's my boy. I've been knowing him for years.
Oh yeah,
All that stuff gonna happen. Yes,
I
indeed.
agree. I agree because man, I see, like I said, I love the kids. We have adults too. I teach the adults too. But man, there's so much untapped potential in children, and this is the reason why I love children so much. Right? There's no fear. Okay,
Yeah.
the fear is through the parents, adults. So you have a child that's fearless.
Right.
Okay, man, that's a wonderful thing. You can teach a child so many things because they don't let fear hold them back. So I see we have a lot of children that are really going to be future champions here at Team Mongoose BJJ. And I actually have one young lady that she graduated from my little pups program, which is 5 year old to 8, to my big kids, and now she's in the adult program. So she started with me when she was 6 years old, and now she's 13 years old. I'm sorry, she's 16 years old now, and she's in the adult program. And she's
Wonderful.
definitely, I'm telling you, she's going to be a champion. All right, whether it be in jujitsu or whether it be in judo, because I teach both. She's definitely on the track of becoming a champion. Uh, and look out, world, because Estelle is coming at you.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Let me ask you, you know, this question here. What happens in your mind? What happens if Brazilian Jiu Jitsu becomes as popular in the black community as basketball and football?
Oh wow. Well, I I hate to say this, and it's, but if it becomes even, I hate to say this, but you're gonna have a lot more fatalities when it comes to uh, people being trigger happy, you know, because they're gonna be afraid of what we can do. Like people are afraid of black folks already, and some of us don't even fight. We're very peaceful people,
Right.
you know. Now you back that up. Hey man, these guys are skilled, right? They're skilled, and they're skilled in a particular art that is used by military and law enforcement now. Okay, it's the same thing that happened with the Vietnam vets that came back, the African American Vietnam vets that came back. A lot of
Right.
those guys was trained in Shotokan karate. They was trained in judo and stuff. They learned all these disciplines while they was overseas and stuff. They came back, you know, they was considered lethal and deadly. So this whole thing about, you ever heard of say register your hands, right?
Right.
That
Right.
was that was specifically geared towards the black soldier.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, to register our hands so that they could keep tabs on us and so forth, right?
Wow.
Yes, a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, I
So
didn't know that either.
a lot of your military vets that came back from those wars and stuff, right? They went on. Some of them went on to become instructors in the martial arts, right? And others they didn't survive coming back. They got killed here after they served their time in the war. And they came back to the states. They got killed here in the states because people was afraid of what they were capable of. They know what they went through. They knew they had prior training, and they didn't want to take any chances. Okay, but that's looking at the dark side. Okay, but I'm keeping it real. Okay, so there is a potential of a lot more fatalities happening. Okay, But on the brighter side of it, okay, we'll have a lot more black champions in all leagues, whether it's the Jiu-Jitsu Federation or whether it's mixed martial arts, the UFC, Strike Force, you name it. You're going to see
Right.
more and more black champions, okay? Because I believe that we're arithmetic people. So when it comes to the striking arts, like kickboxing and Muay Thai and boxing itself, we develop that naturally because we're very
Right.
arithmetic people.
Yes,
But
it's like
then,
yeah, it's like dancing.
right, exactly. But then when it comes to the grappling art, we have to kind of like sit down and really, do our job of studying that. So when you combine both, the striking and the grappling, man, you're talking about a dangerous person.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. And the thing is about grappling, I was trying to explain this to brothers a long time ago. Oh man, that's ain't nobody trying to be all sweaty. That's that Greco-Roman stuff, grabbing on men. I said, bro, well, wrestling didn't really start over there. It started in Africa.
that's right.
It started in Africa, but most people don't know that. But once they know that, then once they know the history, they feel more comfortable.
Hmm.
Engaging in that. Just like people think rock and roll that's not for us. Yeah, yeah. Who said
We
that?
created that. We
That's
created
right. Right. Who said rock and roll ain't
You
for
got
us?
Chuck Berry, Little Richard. Those were your first rock stars right there.
Exactly. And so once people educate themselves, they'll feel more comfortable doing
Right.
what they gotta do. But I'm gonna ask you this because you said you love boxing. Me too. What do you think about the state of boxing right now? I mean, what can improve or what can help the state of boxing right now, or do you think there's anything wrong with boxing?
Yeah, I think we need to cut out we need to cut out the showboat. We need to get back to the basics. When I trained American boxing, man, and my boxing coach, his name was Jimmy Plenty. He's very, very well known here in the Atlanta area. Okay, man, it wasn't no showboat, wasn't no flashy stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
He would get into your behind if you out there flashing and showboating and stuff. You get back to the basics, okay? You got a lot of fighters now, okay? They're doing a lot of flashy stuff, and sometimes they win the fight with it, right?
Right.
But that's not a good example when you talk about the science of boxing. When you
Mm-hmm.
talk about the science of boxing, everything is calculated. Everything is time. You learn how to slip and make your opponent miss the punch. Okay, the rhythm, the timing, uh, the strategy, because you have to be strategic in boxing. We've all seen fights to where you had the bull and the matador. The bull is not being strategic; he's just coming straight forward. The matador he's the strategist. Okay, and he wins the fight. All right.
Right.
So I believe that boxing would be a whole lot better if we get back to the basics, stop the showboating, and stop the trash talking. You could trash talk after the fight, you know. But I understand, it's about marketing. This is
Mm-hmm.
it's about advertising and marketing and putting butts in the seats, right? So right now, you don't have to be. I know, especially in the MMA world, in the mixed martial arts world, you don't have to be the top 10 uh, competitor or fighter in the. But if you have the most followers, if you got more people following you and you got the more fans and stuff,
Right.
you can make more money than the champion.
That's boxing. That's boxing too.
And
That's that's yeah,
that's nuts. That's crazy. It shouldn't be like that. So
exactly.
I believe we need to get back to no. Listen, this man is the champion. Okay, he might not have a fan base like you got, right? But he's the champion. The
Mm-hmm.
champion should always get paid more. It shouldn't be even close when it comes to that purse. Okay, and most of the time, those champions that are not showboating and stuff. I'll give you another prime example of Marvin Hagler. He wasn't flashy like that. He was about business. Okay,
Right.
I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna take care of business, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
you look at his records, man, you can't take nothing away from the man. We need to
Mm,
get back to that to where let our hands do the talking, right? And let's silence our mouth because a lot of times we talk so much and we create disasters for ourselves. Okay, let your actions speak for you. That's a lesson that we all need to learn. Be a man and a woman of action. Okay, more so than words.
facts. All facts. Well said, brother. I was hoping you was gonna get to that. You brought it home. I was hoping you was gonna get to that.
Thank you.
That the fact that these popular that's a popularity contest now.
Yes.
You know, so champions is out here working hard their whole career
Mm-hmm.
and doing everything the right way, and they putting themselves in harm's way by fighting who they supposed to fight, when
Yep.
they supposed to fight them, and they might lose a fight doing that.
Right. That's right.
But you got the popular guy who ain't fighting nobody,
Mm-hmm.
knocking out a bunch of bums,
Yep.
but everybody like him because he popular.
Yeah.
He got this and he got that, and then you dogging the champion.
Yep.
Oh, he the champion. He got two losses though,
Mm-hmm.
but he fought everybody.
He fought all the tough fights. He didn't dodge anyone. You know.
Right. Like when people say, "Oh, Muhammad Ali got losses on his record." Sugar Ray Robinson got
He fought
losses.
the best of the best.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But yeah, brother, I want to thank you so much for this interview. I enjoyed myself, man. This is a real good interview. It's good to talk to good brothers, man, who trying to do something positive for the community, man. And
Thank
tell the people where they can find your school once again, and yeah, let them know where to find you,
you. Okay.
how they can support you, and how they can find you on social media and your school.
Okay. So on social media, you look up mongoosejujitsu.com. Okay. That is our website. Okay. You can go to Instagram, Team Mongoose BJJ. It's the same on Facebook as well. Team Mongoose BJJ. Make sure you say Team Mongoose BJJ. Okay. You can also find us here. We're located in Lawrenceville, Georgia. It's about 20, 25, 30 minutes away from Atlanta, Georgia. We're open from 5 to 9:15 at night. Okay, and that's Monday through Thursday. Saturdays from 12 to 1:30. All right, so we're open 6 days a week. I encourage you to bring your children. I encourage families to join because it takes a village, all right, to raise a child, and it takes a village to build a strong community and society. So I encourage people, look, don't just bring your kid, but I need you to consider joining and learning some martial arts as well. Okay, because a family that trains together, all right, they grow strong together. All
That's
right.
right. That's right.
So definitely, I look forward to hearing from anyone, and definitely, I want you to come through too, brother. If you're ever in the
Hey man,
neighborhood.
but next time I'm in the ATL, I'm gonna pull up on you for
Okay.
sure. When I'm in Georgia, most definitely. I'll
Well,
be
I'm
down
gonna
there.
do that.
Yeah, I'll be down. Trust me, I'm gonna pull up on you, man. I might be out of shape, but I'm gonna pull up on you.
Hey,
Uh,
whether you in shape or out of shape, I have something for you.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? You know what, man? I can't believe we did this whole interview, and I didn't even get your thoughts on the importance of the Gracie family. Let me
Okay.
get you. Can I get your importance real quick of the Gracie family in jiu-jitsu?
Yes, yes. I think with the Gracie families, man, they were able to bring jujitsu back to the forefront where jujitsu was forgotten about here in the States. That's why a lot of people didn't really know what it was they were doing. It was forgotten about, right?
Right.
And for a lot of folks, they're like, "What is this? A new art?" No, it's not a new art. Jiu-jitsu has been around since the days of the samurai, you know, and before then. So, but I think when the Gracie family were able to display it in some of the first UFC, and you were able to see how a small
Right.
man like Hoist was able to destroy a guy that was twice his size within a matter of minutes and stuff.
Right.
It brought a whole new perspective on fighting. Like, oh, wait a minute, because before if you're a guy that's 6'3", 240 pounds, 50 pounds. Everybody was afraid of that guy. Everybody was intimidated by that guy. Whether he could fight or not,
Right,
just his
right.
size alone, it brought fear to people. So here you have a guy that's 170 pounds, and he was able to destroy him, you know, at
Mm-hmm.
ease. So it brought a whole new perspective that, hey, listen, just because a guy is big and strong, don't necessarily mean that he will be the victor of a fight. So it's about skill. So the Gracie family brought a whole new perspective on fighting. And it was back then in the early days of UFC, it was about style against style. And it was open weight class. So
Right.
you
It was
could
like
have
blood. It was
somebody,
like blood sport.
yeah, exactly, like a real blood sport, right? Yeah.
Mm.
Because you would have somebody that's, 170 pounds fighting a 230 or 40-pound guy, you know? And it was all about skill and style against style. So yeah, hats off to the Gracie family for doing that for us. But a lot of people a lot of people is of the mindset that, well, because the Gracie family brought it to the forefront, right? Then they are the family to go to for all of your jiu. They if you don't get your degree from the Gracies, then you're not a legitimate jiu-jitsu practitioner.
Oh yeah, yeah. A lot of people do that. Yeah.
A lot of people have they've been brainwashed to that degree. And I mean, listen, if you go online and you look at the champions now, a lot of them are not Gracie affiliated at all. You know, so that right there is just you can dismiss that. Okay, yeah, we thank them for bringing jujitsu back to the forefront. Okay, but there's so many other people out there, such as myself and many others, that are highly skilled in passing this art on to other folks and raising champions, from children all the way to adults. And that's where we're at now. You have to really know your art. You have to hone your skills, and you have to have no fear to go out there and show what you know.
Absolutely. And it's a lot. Yeah, in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has a lot of practitioners. Like you said, the Gracie family did their thing and bring it to the forefront. But it's a lot of guys. Like you remember a guy named Mario Sperry?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey, man, yeah, yeah, yeah. One of his students choked the life out of me almost. Lord have almost choked the life out of me almost. But yeah, Mario Sperry was a beast, man, and he wasn't a part of the Gracie family. It's a lot of people that are putting in work, But I think that a lot, like you said, a lot of people just thought that it's Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, Gracie family. They're associated with that, and they think everything else is a fake. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like back in the 80s and stuff. You thought that every Chinese person knew kung fu, and
Right, right.
that wasn't the case.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
you know just because kung fu was developed in China, you just figure, hey, if you want to learn real kung fu, you got to learn it from a Chinese person, and
yeah.
and that's
Mm,
it's stupid. Okay,
and, that's
it
right.
just it makes no sense at all. You look at the person's background, you look at the time they invested, you look at who who they developed their skills up under, you look at the work and the time that they put in, and then you make your choice about selecting your instructor and stuff. But to
Yeah,
select an instructor or a professor because they say, "Oh, I am with the Gracie family," no, that's not enough, man. That's not enough. No.
you ain't told no lies, man. I remember back in middle school, people were so brainwashed into thinking all the Asian Chinese dudes could fight, and them guys, some of them guys were bluffing. Boy, you somebody try to bully them, they get into a martial arts stance, everybody take off running, and couldn't
Yeah.
fight a lick. Couldn't fight a lick.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Hey man, but I want to thank you so much, brother. Once again, tell the people they can find your school. Once again,
Once again, we're located in Lawrenceville, Georgia. And we're about 25 to 30 minutes away from Atlanta, Georgia. You can find us on mongoosejujitsu.com. That's our website. You can also find us on Instagram, Team Mongoose BJJ, and Facebook, Team Mongoose BJJ.
yes, sir, man. Thank you so much for your time. You know what I mean? I am 78 Sports TV. I represent the mighty LDBC, Lions Den Boxing Community. And it's good to talk to you, brother. I thank you so much for your time. And I hope to talk to you again.
Absolutely, brother. You take care of yourself. Oof.
You too, good brother. Peace.
Peace.